Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from TCG, bringing you guys some Nami gameplay. I decided to play some Nami before regionals just to have fun, test it out, since I did see a list win a regionals in Pasadena. So I lost. No, I actually won the dice roll, so I chose to go first since I'm facing Gecko. I open up with the Kaya, I chuck Impel down, and then I chuck White Snake. Impel down, it's useless unless it comes out of life because it triggers out to draw 2. And White Snake, I didn't want to use too much Dawn in the early game, so I figured I won't want to keep that. I do have Peel Off in hand, so I could get 2 more. So he ends up playing Sindri and ends up milling 3 Absaloms, which is pretty freaking nuts for a Gecko. So here I just opt to play the blocker to draw a card, and I pass. It's a little risky, you know, it's 3 costs. I think Absalom only pops at 2 costs, so he would have to reduce it by 1. If not, it's at least staying there to block a swing that he could potentially do while drawing me a card. So I am running the Kuja Pirate package that I did see win the regional list. I just wanted to try it out. So it's got that one of Mr. Hanger in it. But here my opponent thinking about what they want to do. If this was me, I would have probably either swung for 5, so he is swinging for 5, and then play out a 4-cost body. So here I can 2k out with what I have in hand. Ideally, I don't want to take too much life, but I also don't want to chuck a lot of counter that I could use when I have no Dawn. So it kind of puts me in a better spot. So he ends up playing Rebecca out. Rebecca grabs Absalom, and then he plays Brook to KO the Kaya, which is smart since I could Snake Dance the Kaya back to hand. So he is preventing me from actually being able to do this. So I draw into another Peel Off, and then I just play it out to draw 2. And ideally, the best move to do right here would probably be to pass, but I do have the gavel to get out of a 9k swing, so I am considering on doing the Kaya, but I choose not to. It's a smarter thing to do. I do have 2, and I could White Snake, but again, that only gives me plus 1k, and then it draws me a card, which is cool, but I do stay 6k for the rest of the turn. So my opponent's at 6 Dawn right now. He does have the Absalom in hand, which right now he could swing with the Brook for 5 or 6, reduce the Margaret by 1, and then pop it with Absalom. But he plays Sakazuki and trashes a card to KO the Margaret, which sucks, but it is what it is. So he swings for 5. I just White Snake to give me plus 1,000 and draw a card. Best thing to do, I can save all my higher cost counter for later in the game, and that at least is going to get me out of any swings he does this turn. So here I have another Peel Off, and I am opting to play it to draw another 2 cards. So I've already drawn a total of 6 cards from Peel Offs alone, and considering I played a Kai, it's a total of 8 cards already out of the deck. So I'm actually in a pretty good pace here with this Nami. After the Peel Off, I decide to pass. 4 cards in hand, or a 4 Dawn up, a bunch of different counter to choose from. The scariest thing he has on his board at the moment is the Sakazuki, since it's already at a base stat of 7. And then he plays Isho, which is the most tragic thing to play. But so he's gonna strip 2 cards out of my hand, and then now he's gonna have a 9k swinging body. I think this is where it kind of turned the tables, because he ended up grabbing Gavel and Usopp Rubber Band of Doom, which is, you know, 2 cards that can save me out of you know, it's a plus 4k counter and a plus 2k counter, and the total of both of those can mill a total of 3 cards. So that's, you know, it's gonna be essential, because I think I do not make it by 2 or 3 cards. So here I'm finally at 9 Don. I can opt to try to swing at the Sakazuki, but not worth it. I'm just gonna play the Margaret to draw a card, which I end up getting into another one. And I think I do consider on doing it, playing it out for another blocker and another draw. And then I pass. So now I have two different plays that I can go with. I can Gum Gum Gavel, mill 2, and get +4. And Snake Dance. So, but I opt to do Kaya first. So here, I think the best thing for me that I trashed was the Desert Spada. It does give me +2k and lets me rearrange the top of my deck. But I figured it wasn't that needed. Here, the Margaret probably would have been the better choice, since now that he has the E-Show, he could reduce him by 3, no problem. But I end up chucking the Gloriosa. I think I saw more value in being able to play out the blocker and draw one, but Gloriosa would have let me search the top 5, and then I could have rearranged the top or the bottom 5 of the deck, or 4 if I am able to draw a Kuja Pirates card from the search. So he swings 4 to reduce the Kaya and pop the Kaya, which sucks just because I was going to use Snake Dance to bounce this Kaya back so I could use it the next turn and mill or draw another 2 cards. So he ends up playing something over the... Oh, so he plays a Gecko over the Rebecca just to grab the Rebecca back, and then Rebecca will grab another Absalom. So now he's basically setting up so that he could go wide, and then the Rebecca's playing the Hina over itself. No point in having blockers in the deck, since you are essentially just gonna swing out, and I'm not gonna swing at life. So here he swings 7 with the Sakazuki. I'm just gonna block it. And he swings 7 with his leader. Here I opt to take it to see what I could trigger. I do find another Kaya, which is perfect. And he swings 9 at E-Show. I do block it. After that, he passes turn. Here, I opt to play the blocker again because it draws me another card. I need to get rid of this Brook, because if I'm going to play the Kaya out, I cannot let the Brook stay on the field, because it's just going to swing and pop the Kaya. So here I swing 6 at the Brook because it's going to force him to have to use 2 cards to prevent me from KOing this Brook. At the same time, there's a chance that he has one in hand, but I think he does let it go instead of saving it, if I'm not mistaken. Which, once he decides whether he takes it or not, I do end up playing out the Kaya now that I know that the Kaya will be safe for the turn. Ideally, since I don't know what he's going to draw into. Here I chuck the Gloriosa, and I believe I chuck the 2k counter because I'm trying to keep the cards that are going to mill my deck. So the Usopp Rubber Band of Doom will at least give me +2k and mill 1 card from the deck. But my opponent does have a solid board. He's got the Gecko and the E-Show, which are each 9k, the Sakazuki that's got a stat of 7, and a Hino with a stat of 5. So already he's at good numbers to swing at Nami, since I think the best numbers to swing at Nami would be 7, 9, and 11. 7 will cause me to have to use 2 cards to get out of it, like Usopp Rubber Band of Doom and anything else. Swinging 9 would be a Gavel and a different event, but Gavel already is trashing a card to even use it, so I would be using 3 cards to get out of a 9k swing. It's just very situational depending on what's going on, but those are ideally the numbers to swing at. Even 5 if you didn't have nothing else to do, because it pokes, and majority of the time you might get a 2k counter out from Nami when just poking for 5. So here he swings 9 with the Isho. I choose to do Snake Dance to bounce the Kaya back to hand. And then I'm going to use 1 for Usopp Rubber Band of Doom to give me another 2k and mill 1. So again, this is what I was talking about, the stat line of 9k being the best thing to do, because now it took me 2 cards to get out of that swing. And he still has 4 more swings this turn. I also still do have a blocker on the field, which is going to potentially save me out of a swing as long as he does not block it, which is what I am banking on, to be honest. So here he attaches a Don to Isho, which now shows me he's going to go for KOing my blocker, since he does have the Absalom that he retrieved from his trash twice. So he's got 2 copies of Absalom in his hand. And he could also still do his leader ability with Gecko and bring the Absalom, his last Absalom, from his trash to KO this Margaret on the field. Which is what he opts to do. So he swings 7, rests the 2 to trigger Gecko's ability. I start reaching for life because I know he's going to just pop it. So he trashes a hog back, mills 2, plays Absalom to the field, so it KOs my blocker, and I just decide to take the life, and I end up triggering Gavel, which lets me, or no, not triggering it, but I'm debating on using the trigger because it allows me to bounce a character back. I opt not to, since I do have 2 Dawn. I could potentially mill 2 cards right here and get out of a 9k or a 7k swing and another 7. So here he swings 7. Gavel would be the best choice here, so I do Gavel with a Love Mellow, and it mills another 2, which mills a Kaya, which is super unfortunate. And here he can opt to swing 2 more times. He's got a Gecko. Swings 9. I take it, and I trigger Impel Down to draw 2 more cards. Gives me more options and lets me trash something else with this Gum Gum Gavel. And here he swings 10. And here I decide to count cards to see exactly what I need to be able to do this next turn to get the W. Because there's no way I'm getting out of 10 unless I'm using this Kaya. So I think I do opt to taking it. Oh no, I'm considering not to. So I do Gavel and chuck a Mellow and do this, but I take the life just to see what else I can trigger. I was trying to find options and mill out what I can. And you're gonna see how close this game is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've had 11 cards, not 12. So 11 cards in hand. I gotta try to figure out how to mill 11 cards. So peel off lets me draw 2, and there's another peel off right there. I do have a Kaya, so that's 2. So that's a total of 9 cards. Kaya can get me down to 7. And peel off can get me down to another 5. But I would need another Gavel, which I know I have about 2 or 3 in the trash right now. So right here, the best play would be the Kaya, because then I can see what I can get into and filter my hand from there. Peel off would be cool, which, oh, so I do peel off. Peel off is going to draw me 2, which gets me to another Oppius and Impel Down. Obviously, Kaya is going to trash this Impel Down, which I can also cycle out a lot of the heavier other cards out of the deck. But there's not much I can do. There's a total of 5 cards left. I got to bank on what's in my life to get out of this. There's 3 down left. All I can do is Gavel and essentially do Usopp Rubber Band of Doom to get something else. But Usopp or Rubanda Doom. Yeah, nothing else in my hand is gonna let me be able to play Love Love Mellow, which maybe could have got me something. No, Usopp Urbana Doom and Love Love Mellow both do the same thing. It lets me draw a card. Love Love Mellow lets me draw a card. Usopp Urbana Doom lets me mill a card. So regardless which way I would have did it, that's the play I had to do. So here I'm trying to see exactly what I have in the trash, and I'm banking on getting something out of the trigger of life, whether it's an impel down or a peel off. So I'm hoping to God I don't have either of them, but you're gonna see here. This is where it doesn't matter. So swings 9 with the Sakazuki. I think I do the gavel, chucking the Desert Spada. Oh no, I counter for exactly 10 with cards out of hand. I do think potentially just using the event cards would have been better. So he attaches Ford on to his Gecko and swings for 13k. Here I know I don't have enough counter to get out of there, so I'm trying to mill as much as I can. So I do Gum Gum Gavel, Chuck Desert Spada, and I mill the top 3 or top 2. And then here I'm gonna use Usopp Rubanda Doom, and I'm gonna mill an extra 1, but I am gonna have to take the life because I don't have enough counter out. And you're gonna see I end up just getting Glorious out of life, and I'm gonna concede because there's nothing else I can do. But yeah, it was a close game, just off by 2. If you guys like the content, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and catch you guys in the next one.